In this video, we're going to use tree diagrams to represent successive independent events. If you're revising, you can pause the video and have a go at question 1 and then question 2. So, tree diagrams are an alternative way to display outcomes of an event and are especially useful when there are 2 or more events occurring. So question 1, we've got 2 events here, Megan and Rosie sitting their driving tests. The probability that Megan passes the test is 0.8. The probability that Rosie fails the test is 0.3. Draw a tree diagram to show the possible outcomes. Well, we first of all want to recognise what the 2 events are. So the first event is we're going to take to be Megan. And she can either pass the test or she can fail the test. Chances that she passes the test is 0.8. So the outcome goes to the end of a tree diagram, at the end of the branch, so to speak. So there's the outcome at the end. The probability goes on the branch itself. So try not to mix those up. The outcome at the end of the branch and the probability of the outcome on the branch. If the chances of her passing is 0.8, the chances that she fails would be 0.2. Okay, this is the first part of a tree diagram, and the first event, Megan. The second event would be Rosie. Now, if we follow the tree diagram, we've got the possibility that Megan passes and then Rosie also passes. Or Megan could pass, but then Rosie could fail. Okay. The other alternative is that Megan doesn't pass, Megan fails. But if Megan fails, Rosie can still pass, or she can fail. Now it tells us the probability that Rosie fails a test is 0.3. So we can put 0.3 for the fail, which means the chances that she passes is 0.7. Notice again the probabilities are going on the branches, the outcomes are at the end. Now, it looks like Rosie's got 2 things happening, but this represents Rosie when Megan passes, and this represents Rosie when Megan fails. But there's no change. They're independent events, so this here looks exactly the same as this one. And that's part A done, which was to draw a tree diagram to show the possible outcomes. Part B is to what is the probability of passing both tests. Before we do that, I'm going to go in. This is optional, whether you do this in the test or not, but just to show you what's going on here. So we've got pass and pass. If you follow the branches, this is pass, pass. Probability of pass and pass. And it's an and statement because we want Megan passing and Rosie passing. So we could multiply those 2 probabilities, those 2 branches together, and that would give 0.56. The second option is pass and fail. Megan passes, but Rosie fails. So that's what that branch means. Probability of pass for Megan, but a fail for Rosie. And that would be 0.8 times 0.3. If you just read off the branches, 0.8, 0.3. So that gives 0.24. The next option is that Megan fails and Rosie passes. So that's the probability that Megan fails, Rosie passes. Following the numbers in the branches, that's 0.2 times 0.7, which is 0.14. The final option is that Megan fails and Rosie fails, 0.2 times 0.3. So probability of fail, 0.2 times 0.3, which is 0.06. And actually, if you do that, you can answer nearly everything from it. The downfall from that is quite a lot of these might not be relevant in the question, so you've done a lot of working out that you don't need to. That explains what's happening in the tree diagram. And the question we're asking for here is the probability they both pass. So we can just read that actually off. I'm just going to write the answer. The probability that they both pass is pass, pass. It's this one here. So that is 0.56. Part C is what's the probability that Megan passes but Rosie fails. Megan passing and Rosie fails is this one here. So that's 0.24. And the last one is what is the probability that one person passes and the other fails? Well, that's a bit more complicated because this one here is somebody passing and somebody failing, and also this one here is also somebody passing and somebody failing. See, pass, fail, fail, pass. So it could be either of those two. So what we want to write down is that it could be the 0.24 or the 0.14, those combined probabilities, one or the other. So that gives a final answer then of 0.38. Just to make that plus clear. Okay. Question 2. In a bag there are 8 beads, 4 red, 3 blue and 1 green. A bead is chosen at random and then it is replaced. Another bead is chosen. Part A is to draw a tree diagram to show the possible outcomes. Again, think first of all about what the events are. The events here are not green, blue, red. They're the outcomes. The event, the last one was Megan doing the test or Rosie doing the test. Here it is picking a bead in the first go and then picking a bead in the second go. So really the two events are the first pick and then the second pick. And what can you do in the first pick? We can get red, blue or green. So this is tricky to do on a tree diagram. Very easy to make mistakes. So there are 3 outcomes. So we could have red, blue or green. I already think I've made this maybe too wide. What's the chances of getting red, blue or green? On the first go, I'm not going to do any simplifying, I'm just going to keep it as it is. 4, 3 and 1. So 4 out of 8. Last time it was decimals, this time it's fraction, but either way, the probability goes on the branch and it's the outcome that goes at the end of the branch. So 4, 3 and 1. Now after the first pick, you if you pick red, on the next go you can get red again, or you can get blue, or you can get green. If you pick blue, you can get red, you can get blue, or you can get green. Or if you pick green, on the next pick you can still get red, you can get blue, or you can get green. Now what's difficult here is getting these numbers on. For the red, it's 4 out of 8. 4, and it's easy for me to zoom. You can't do that, so be careful. The more you can spread these branches out, the better. Okay, 4 out of 8, 3 out of 8, 1 out of 8. The first pick does not affect the second pick, so it's always 4 out of 8, 3 out of 8, 1 out of 8. Okay, so it looks again like on the second pick you've got lots of options, but this is what happen. This is what can happen if you pick red on the first go. This is what happens if you can pick blue in the first go. This is what happens if you can pick green in the first go, and it's the same every time because the first pick does not affect the second pick. Very quickly, I'll not do the probabilities, but I'll just write down here. That branch is getting red and then red. If you follow it, red and red. Next one's red and blue. So red and blue. The last one's red and green. The second one is blue and then red. So blue, red, blue, 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 green. And the last one's if you get green first. Green, red, green, blue, green, green. That's optional, but that might help us here to see, to help us just with these questions later on. So part B, what is the probability of choosing 2 blue beads? 2 blue beads is this one here. So I'm just going to put part A. That's the probability of blue, which is, this is probably optional here, probability of blue times probability of blue. You're reading those branches off, which is 3/8 times 3/8. And that is 9/6, I'll write that clear, 9/64. So that's part B. I'll make that, tidy it up. Okay, and that was part A. Okay, part C. What is the probability of choosing a green bead and then a red bead? A green and then a red. So green and then a red is having to follow this one and then following here. So this one here. So part C is the probability of green and then red, which is the probability of green times the probability of red. Green is 1/8, red is 4/8. So you get 4/64, or 1/16 if you simplify it. Part D, what is the probability of choosing a red and a blue? Here, it doesn't have the keyword like the last question. It doesn't have the word then, which tells me they don't care which order you get it in. So a red and a blue, it could be that one. I'm just going to circle it. Could be that one. Or you could get a blue and then a red. A blue and then a red still gives you the same idea of getting a red and a blue where the order is not important. So I'm just going to do that over this side. Part D. So probability of 1 red, 1 blue. Order is not important. So probability of red times probability of blue, or, which means plus, probability of blue times probability of red. I mean plus because this can happen or this can happen. There's combined chances. There's more chance because there's 2 things can happen, so you add to increase the probability. Okay, probability of red is 4/8, probability of blue is 3/8, and same again, 3/8 and 4/8. So that gives 12/64 and 12/64. That's 24/64. Divide that by 8 and you get 3/8.